Why do I sit in the front row when a speaker's speaking? Who sits there? The friends of the person that's speaking. So I'm immediately in touch with the speaker's circle of influence.
Nice.
I have made extraordinarily valuable relationships by sitting in the front row. Sit in the front row. You'll appear as if you have a higher sense of influence, and you're among the circle of people of the speaker who's the most important person in the room. That's number one. Number two, play the odds. Talk to everyone. You're not better than the vendors. You're not better than any other lawyers. Talk to as many people as possible. You play the odds. What's the worst thing that happens? A few of those people will be jerks. They'll be rude. They won't say hi back to you. But guess what? If you play enough odds of talking to people, you're going to hit the jackpot. You're going to discover a relationship that can change the way you perceive your business, or an opportunity to grow your business to another level.
Welcome to Spaghetti on the Wall, where we throw ideas, see what sticks, and nurture those that do. I'm your host, Armando Leduc, an actor, entrepreneur, and coach, giving you insights that light up your world. We're here to explore the realms of business, marketing, and life, serving up a shot of inspiration with every episode. Ready to make ideas stick and grow them into something great? Let's dive in. All right, and we are back with another one, Managing Partners Podcast and the Spaghetti on the Wall duo right here in Mardi Gras. We've got Darren that has the Probate Pro national law firm, and we're talking about marketing, we're talking about branding, but specifically I want to talk about conference hacks that because I know you go to a lot of conferences. Right. What are some conference hacks that you, every time you go, you're all like, okay, these are things that I do to make sure that I follow up properly or get what I need from it and give where I can. So give me some like tips and tricks that you do to approach.
Happy to do that. I'll give you a few hacks here.
Okay.
Number one, I sit in the front row. Why do I sit in the front row when a speaker's speaking? Who sits there? The friends of the person that's speaking. So I'm immediately in touch with the speaker's circle of influence.
Nice.
I have made extraordinarily valuable relationships by sitting in the front row. Most of the people that are at conferences are hiding in the back. They want to exit quickly. They want access to the toilet. They want to access so they don't embarrass anyone by leaving. Sit in the front row. You'll appear as if you have a higher sense of influence, and you're among the circle of people of the speaker who's the most important person in the room. That's number one. Number two, play the odds. Talk to everyone. You're not better than the vendors. You're not better than any other lawyers. Talk to as many people as possible. You play the odds. What's the worst thing that happens? A few of those people will be jerks. They'll be rude. They won't say hi back to you. But guess what? If you play enough odds of talking to people, you're going to hit the jackpot. You're going to discover a relationship that can change the way you perceive your business, or an opportunity to grow your business to another level. Those are two easy hacks. Just talk to people.
Mm-hmm. Tell me a story about somebody that you met kind of doing this law of averages approach. Do you have a sales background?
No.
Sounds like you got a sales background though, with like that thought process. Because
no sales background.
Because salespeople think about that all the time, right? It's just a law of averages. If you talk to enough people, you're going to get to that person.
Yeah, I wish in high school I had that confidence that I talked to enough women, girls, that I would have eventually had more people to date.
Yeah.
But it took a long time to have that confidence to be able to do it professionally.
Yeah.
But had I done it earlier, it probably would have worked well then. I have no background in sales in any form. I am self-taught by simply going to conferences and observing. Playing the law of averages, it's very easy. I'm at conferences often. I talk to every single vendor, whether I've talked to them before or whether they're new. I have come back to my office with inspired ideas, sometimes completely inspired by something that they have expressed to me, sometimes an idea that they're doing that I can immediately bring back to my office and implement without even necessarily hiring them. And then, of course, there are times that I have met vendors in which I can utilize their services to help grow and expand the business. And then, of course, to the larger personnel, people are coming to conferences to network, to meet, to have conversations, talk to lots of people, and stand out, be engaging, be curious, to ask them about themselves. People love to talk about themselves. And you will learn a lot from that experience. Yeah. And again, a particular example, when I first went national with my brand, I sat in the front row. The speaker was Mark Lanier, one of the most famous speakers in America, one of the best trial lawyers. I hardly knew who he was, but I knew he was famous. I sat in the front row, and to my left was an amazing man named Rick Meadow, who I'd never met before, who's one of Mark's partners. He chatted up with me, I chatted up with him, and when I walked out of that conference, I started working with their firm and have continued to work with their firm since then. And while I was at the conference, he introduced me to all of his friends. So I promise you, this strategy is so easy. You just have to have the willingness to put yourself out there and do it.
Yeah,
Easy.
I love that idea. Let me ask about a question. When you get all of these implementation strategies, when you go to a conference, it's just like overload sometimes. How are you prioritizing what you're going to do? And how are you bringing these ideas back to like prioritize what you want to do first?
Yeah, I can imagine being my implementer in my law firm. My COO is the most extraordinarily talented human being because she can manage me. I come back with 100 ideas. I have 100 ideas by noon.
Yeah.
They feel great. I have a lot of ideas. They feel great at the moment, but only a few of them are going to make significant changes. So my job as a visionary within my business is to disrupt my business constantly. Constant disruption. My COO's job is to vet all these great ideas and say, these are the ones that we're going to go with. These are the ones that we're going to implement. And based on a lot of questioning about my ideas that I think are all great. Now, after a while, I digest them and I recognize that some of those ideas are terrible. But those ideas that are good and we beta test and they work, we want to double, triple, quadruple down on. So I come back, and one of the reasons I go to these conferences is to come back with lots of ideas to completely disrupt the way my business is being run. That is my job. I'm chief disruptor, and my COO's job is to hold all this shit together.
I love that idea. Can you give me a specific story of a time you went in, you heard something, you were like, we need to implement that, and as a result, like change the entire game?
Oh, there are so many. It's really, even I'm thinking about just in the last 24 hours since I've been here, I have a new way that I want to approach my entire economic engine, recognizing that AI is going to be an existential threat, not just to my business, but to most businesses. And I want to start thinking about ways that we can be ahead of the curve to change the economic model, to be ahead of the change such that AI is not going to put me under, but rather I'm going to ride the wave of AI, the wave. I'm going to surf it into the future. So I have ideas now as I've left here that I'm going to bring back to my quarterly meeting in a few days and talk about changing the entire economic model that I've been operating under for the last 30 years.
That's phenomenal. So this conference in particular, what is the intention that you come with? I know you want to talk to as many people as possible and network, but is there like a word or a sentence that you're all like, this is my mantra for this weekend?
There's a few purposes. One is I get to see the people that send us business. We're primarily a business-to-business law firm. So the lawyers who utilize us, I get to see them here in one setting, say hello to them, make sure that we're doing a good job, as well as get introduced to other people. And then secondly, it is to get inspired with new ideas that I can bring back to my office. And what better way to get inspired with ideas than to be around incredibly talented, creative, forward-thinking lawyers who are at the top of their field. They're coming here because they are the ones that are interested in growing and expanding their business. So it's a great place to be inspired. And the great lawyers, the great business people, they don't keep creating ideas out of thin air. All great creation is an inspiration. It's an iteration off of other things that people have seen. Great artists inspire from other artists before them. Great songwriters are inspired from the music before them. And it's no different than me. I come here to learn from all these great minds, get inspired from them, and try to continue to grow the Probate Pro brand into the vision that I have put forth.
I want to go back real quick to talk about your COO, right? Because they're just high on discernment. How do they challenge you with these ideas to like, I guess go, this is probably not the best idea, and challenge you on it? How are you navigating whether or not to bring in the editor into that brainstorm session early or not, right? Like how are you going, no, this is actually a really good idea. I really want to go with it, even though they might be like, nah, it's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, so first, these ideas, they come. sometimes in the middle of the night, sometimes when I'm showering, sometimes immediately following a conversation with an individual here. I get these ideas, I keep writing them down. I force myself to digest them, to sleep on them, to let them percolate. Is the idea still strong 6 hours later, the next morning? I've got a list of these ideas. I start prioritizing them. Which is the one that I believe are going to create the greatest change in the business that's going to allow for that business to grow? And then I present those ideas to my COO. I often am very firm that these are the ideas that are going to do it. My COO is responsible for asking me a million questions because I've got vision. I'm broad, big ideas. My COO is in the details. How are we going to make this work? How much is it going to cost? What are the upsides? What are the downsides? And we vet it, we discuss it, and then sometimes that helps narrow those ideas down. But a great visionary and a great business has to be willing to try things constantly, constant iteration, constant attempts at bringing new ideas into the business and quitting on them quickly when they suck. But when they're good, you go all at it.
Got to go all in.
And that's what we got to do. We got to constantly iterate, constantly think of new ways to approach the business.
I love it. Darren, tell them where they can find you.
The Probate Pro, you are always welcome to reach out to us. I'm happy to speak to you also. theprobatepro.com. Call us, follow us, discuss with us, collaborate with us.
Darren, appreciate you,
it,
man.
You got it. Thank you.
Keep watching, keep listening. We'll see y'all on the next one.